Hello and good morning, Claudia and Chris, Fernanda. Good morning. Happy Thursday.
Hi.
Today is May 21st, 2020. Today, what I'd like to do, guys, is continue with some of our questions, our direct questions that we built on yesterday in our chat. What I'd like to do today is take those same questions now and convert those to indirect questions. All right. So we want to review today in today's activity, review again the direct questions that we were working on, and we can double check those. But now also convert these to indirect questions. So just as a review, would anyone in the chat like to upload one of their questions, one of their direct questions that you were working on either yesterday in the chat or maybe it was from your own interview? Anyone want to share your direct question? Just type it into the chat. Remember, our interviews were all related to COVID-19, so it's going to be some kind of question related to COVID-19. You can take any one of your questions, just one question that you ask in your interview, and write it as a direct question. So it should begin with a question word. It should have a question mark at the end. Remember the formula that we talked about yesterday, a question word plus an auxiliary plus a subject plus the main verb or the linking verb. Feel free to upload it to the chat and Zoom here. We'll take a look at it. All right. Where do you read or listen to news about COVID-19 more frequently? All right. Or most frequently? All right. Good. Now, how? Well, I'll wait till I get a few more responses. For those of you who are uploading, now think about how you would write it as an indirect question. But first direct. So upload one example of one of your questions as a direct question. You can copy and paste it over if you're in the virtual classroom right now, if you're in your wiki. Okay, in this example, where do you read? So where is the question word, do is auxiliary, you is our subject, and read or listen is the main verb. Anyone else want to share one of your questions, one of your direct questions from your interview? Yeah, Danielle, sorry, I don't know if that's you, but if you can change your name, please, if you know how to rename yourself just to make sure I know who's who. Just makes it easier to be able to see your names listed under the participants. All right, I tell you what, this is taking a little bit longer than I thought. Let me go ahead. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go into Microsoft Teams. All right, so take a look first at where I'm at so you can know where to find this file. Today, we're going to work on a shared Word document. And so if you go into Grammar and Context 2 and you go under Files, open up the file, the Word document that says direct underscore indirect questions. Okay, this is where we're going to work today. And what I would like for us to do today in this shared Word document is I'd like for you to copy and paste your direct questions that you created in your wiki, bring it over to this document. Okay, I guess it's going to open up Okay, bear with me 1 second, guys. Try to go into the Microsoft Teams and open up the Word document just as we've done in the past while I sign in here. Okay, so hopefully now you can see the Word documents. It's called Direct Indirect Questions. So if you go into Microsoft Teams under Files, Week 13, select Direct and Indirect Questions. Okay, looks like some of you are coming in. All right, so copy and paste the direct questions that you created in your wiki. Just copy and paste them over. Just as we've done in the past, add your name as a title and then list your questions just below. All right, so we're going to have direct question 1, direct question 2, and so on. And then below your list of direct questions, write the equivalent, write the same question, but the indirect form. All right. And in order to, you should be able to change the numbering. Let's see if I can do this here. No. Well, don't worry about the numbering. Just follow the same order for the indirect questions. And so on. Okay, so you can more or less organize it this way. And if there's a way to renumber this, reorder the numbering, fine. But if not, that's okay the way it is. Okay, so you should have 10 to 20 questions. Just copy and paste them over and then share the indirect question equivalent. Right, and here's an example. Okay, so my direct question is, how did you become aware of COVID-19? Now, let's say that I'm asking my mother. Okay, so the indirect question equivalent would be, I asked my mom how she became aware of COVID-19. So notice here, I can say I asked my mom, right? I asked my mom in the past tense how she became. I changed the pronoun from you to she because you was what I used second person to talk to her directly. But then now I'm reporting on it, so it's now changing to the third person. So we use she, and then the past tense became because it was in the past tense. Be careful with the verb tenses, depending on the verb tense that you use in the direct question. Be careful with how you change it to the indirect question, and watch your pronouns as well. So have the direct version and the indirect version of the same question. Use as many of the same words as possible, right? Notice I'm not changing. I used aware here. I used aware here. Basically exactly the same question, except now it's in the indirect form or the reported speech. All right, so I'm going to mute my mic and we'll take a look at these. We'll make comments and talk about it as we see examples. Okay, if you guys have any questions or not sure how to find this file, unmute your microphone and let me know.
Ben, we're only going to write the questions, right?
That's correct. No responses, just the questions. Remember, guys, for this activity, for this exercise, try to avoid yes or no questions. Even if you ask yes or no questions in your interview, I would ask that you now rewrite the question and avoid any two-part questions. So if you ask a yes or no question and then you follow that question with why or how, just write the question as a open content question. All right, try to reword the question, change it from a yes or no question to an open content question beginning with one of the question words: how, why, when, where, etc. Okay, guys, we're getting close to the end of the class. If you haven't already, for the next class, please make sure that you've completed all of your direct questions listed underneath your name, as well as your indirect questions just below the direct questions. And make sure that you try to avoid yes or no questions, right? So if you have yes or no questions, please change those to content questions that begin with a question word, followed by some sort of auxiliary for the most part. Then you have a subject, and then you have the main verb or the lexical verb. Now, there are some exceptions with some question words like which. Okay, that might be different, but most of your how and why questions are going to follow that that pattern. Okay, so pay close attention to the pattern of your direct questions. Pay close attention to the pattern of the indirect question. If it helps, take a look at my example that I provided at the top of the document. All right, and again, you can use this as a guide for most of your indirect questions. All right, I've left some comments, and if any of you have questions about my comments, you can reply to the document. And anyone that I've not left comments, I will before next class as you complete your indirect and direct questions. All right, any questions, guys, about today's activity? Okay, I see there's a question here. And please, guys, when you have questions during the class, please jump in, unmute your microphone, or if someone sees a question in the chat, because I don't always check the chat in Zoom, because I'm like today I was for the most part in the document, in the Word document. So I missed your question, but one of the questions that was posted is related to the question mark. Do we include a question mark in the indirect question? And the answer is no. We use a period. All right, so indirect questions, make sure you have an ending punctuation, but it's a period, not a question mark. A question mark is only used for direct questions. Okay, good question. Any other questions, guys?
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Do we have to write the indirect question twice because we interview two people or just once?
For now, all right, just one person is fine. Okay, because I'm assuming you asked the same questions.
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to go under the assumption that you asked the same questions. So yeah, either set of questions that you included in your wiki is fine here. I would try to include all the examples. If you included, if you have one or two extra questions that you ask one person that you didn't ask the other, if you want to include them, that's fine. But I'm assuming that that has the same questions for both interviewees. So.
Okay,
All right.
thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. Any other questions? All righty. Well, if there are no more questions, I think we'll stop there for today. If you guys want me to look at anything before the next class, of course, send me a message either in the chat or in just the post section of Microsoft Teams, and I'll take a look at it. I'm also going to take a look myself as you guys are finishing and leaving comments as necessary. And tomorrow, if we need to talk about anything related to direct and indirect questions, we'll address those issues tomorrow. All right, guys, I think we'll stop there. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.
Thanks, teacher. Bye.
Bye.